Hi everyone, today we've got a couple things going on. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you my new Primus 96. Now I already did a Primus video on my Primus 100 and I struggle with that thing so much. There's got to be a leak in it somewhere. But this one came all the way from England and it has provenance, and I'll show you a picture of that here right now. The gentleman that I got this from says it was his grandfather's that he used in the 1930s, and it came complete, which was awesome. And I think I got a pretty good deal on it, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. It took a long time for it to get over through all the customs and everything, but in the end, it is a beautiful setup. It came with the wrench, the wind guard, which my Primus 100 does not have, and that could be, part of the problem why I have it. It comes with a little burner. It came with the canister, which my Primus 100 didn't come with. So it's original canister, a little priming cup. It has this little plastic funnel. I'm not sure if that's original to it or not, but it works perfectly for the size of the hole that you pour the fluids into, especially for this little Primus alcohol can. Now this has the loud burner. There's a silent burner and the loud burner. This is the roar or loud burner cap. The little lipstick burner. The 3 stands for your pot, and look at that, the original paper covering for the Belgrave prickers. And it came with a couple extra like leather washers and stuff. So I've never burned this before. I've cleaned it. I've got the pump all ready to go. So we're going to see if we can get this to work. First time. Now to assemble it's rather simple, and one of the neat features about this is that it has this little cap that you use for the center to hold everything. That way the fuel's not going to leak. But when you're ready to burn, you remove that, and it has a little spot here on the side that you can connect to. And that's cool. And this one comes from 1926. I know that based off of the stamp on the bottom. So Primus did a really good job of putting codes on their items so you can date. All right, we're going to tighten that down really good because we don't want any air or pressure to escape. All right, and while we have it, I'm going to use one of the original prickers here. You always want to prick it before you do any lighting or anything. Sometimes I found that you may have to do it even after you light it. We'll see how this goes. And we put our little priming cup on it. Now a nice thing about these little windbreaks is they have holes, so you can actually stick your match in it and ignite the fuel that you're going to put in it. But first we got to assemble it. Let's show you how you do that. This is the little screw area I was telling you about. It just holds it. That's all it does. Just hold it so you don't get a bunch of dirt or crud on it. Now for this, it has a little wire mechanism that you see here that slides up and down. So you match the sides. You slide this on first. Once it hits the bottom, you can adjust it, and then you slide the wire down all the way. And it uses a friction to hold it. What I find works the best, because it is thin gauge metal, I find putting it on around the little burner cup works the best. First, we got to pour some alcohol in it. Now I try to fill this up here. This is the original alcohol container. Now I wasn't sure if the alcohol was leaking in it or if I just was having difficulty filling it up because it's a really small opening. So I went ahead and filled this one up instead because I know this one doesn't leak. There we go. And we lock it around. Now all we need is a set of matches, or lighter, something. It's kind of windy right now, so I know we're going to probably need more than one. Try to wait for it to die down a little bit. Okay, I hear it. Yep, it's working. That's the thing about alcohol. It's really hard to see. This is also really important why you have some type of cover. Now you could take an old tin can and use that, maybe manipulate it in some way in small size like it is, and use that as a replacement, as a windbreak. Put the cap on. Because as it heats up the tube, you're vaporizing the kerosene. This one is kerosene. They also made an alcohol version and a regular gas version, but this particular one is it's definitely kerosene. And you know that because on the inside there's like a copper netting mesh on the inside. Alcohol tending to have more of like a cotton or something that absorbs the alcohol and dispels it. Now the only way to truly adjust this thing is using the pressure, to add pressure, and using this little pip here to release the pressure. So you can start seeing the flame coming out, so the fuel is vaporizing. Okay, so I'm going to shut that off so I can put that on there, and I'm going to tighten it back up, and it should light itself like it did before. All right, starting to hear some noise. It's an excellent sign. Put the stands on. So far, so good. This is working a heck of a lot better than my 100 ever did. All right, I am in my backyard, and while this thing is going for a little bit, I've been absent for a couple weeks. Things are really hectic in my life right now, so I think I'm actually gonna have to probably cut back to maybe 1 or 2 videos per month. And this I figured would be a really good special video for you all. I have some things coming up. It's just getting the time to do the recording and the editing. Now you know why it's called the burner, or the roar, right? So anyhow, I have my 1920s Buckeye basket here. Now this is a cooler essentially, but you know, you got it. If you don't have something to keep cold, then it's no big deal. Not everything has to be carried around in a backpack, especially on spring weather. I was going to try to go out to a park, but again, time and everything's against me. So what we have inside here, I have my Preston mess kit right here, or cook kit, as whatever you want to call it. It comes with the canteen, comes with the cup, so we're going to need that here in a little bit. And one of my favorite features of the Preston cook kit or mess kit is the fact that it's so versatile, including the skillet and the plate. Now this thing is a clamshell, so you can bring it together. Now you have a container, and containers is another focus of this video, because sometimes we struggle on finding containers. Now today, there's containers and all this stuff. And just like today, you can repurpose things that you already have in your kitchen, which is what I have here. So I'm not making lemonade here on the spot. Make sure it stays lit. So I pre-made my lemonade. Now, some of you may know, if you've been watching my channel for a long time, I used to work as a full-time historical farming interpreter. I was a farmer at Slate Run Living Historical Farm. And if you are in Central Ohio, you should totally check it out because it is cool. It's set up in the 1880s. I learned so much there. One of the things I learned is a recipe for lemonade that was even passed on in Kephart's book and several others. And all you have to do is just take some sugar and citric acid, mix it together, and you've got yourself a lemonade mix. Now, Country Time lemonade, which is what this is, that's why it's colored the way it is, didn't come out until 1975. If you do the citric acid and the sugar, it comes out cloudy white. It's not bright yellow like this is. But I used all my citric acid trying to work on my next project that I'm going to show you in a later video, but I have a very rusty item that I had to clean out, and I only had so much citric acid. It's not exactly all that common around here, so I have to order it and all that stuff. But anyhow, so we have our nice springtime lemonade, and inside here of our container, I've got my bread. Now, I could have packed, jars of the stuff to spread, but when you're going picnicking or something, sometimes it's just nice to ease the stress a little bit by pre-making. So I already put the condiments on my bread. It's ready to go. We are going to need the skillet for part of it though, and that's where the Preston Mess Kit comes in so wonderfully, because this thing, take that off, now you've got yourself a skillet. If you haven't seen my other videos on the Preston Mess Kit cooking, then I'll show that at the end. And we are taking pre-orders, so it's not like you have to put any money down right now, but we got to get 500 people to make this a reality, and we are 48% of the way there. 48%. So those of you who signed up, thank you so much. We are working on it. And if you haven't signed up yet and you're interested in the Preston Mess Kit, make sure to do that. The links are in the description box below. Another aspect of containers. So the time period that I'm representing right now is the early 1930s. We got a 1926 stove. We have a 1910s, 1920s Preston cook kit, and we've got a 1920s basket. Well, what about this container? Now, I actually recorded another video about this, but I didn't think it just did it justice. And it's hard to make an interesting video about a container. So this is an original model of 1916 World War I meat can or bacon can. This was issued to the soldiers so that their meat rations, at least here in the US, would stay dry. And I found this Facebook Marketplace for a sweet deal, and it is an original and it's in great shape. Of course, you can get reproductions if you want. But inside this little can fits 2 eggs and a stick of butter. So that's perfect for what we're going to need today. Now, to round out our nice lunch, we have some Cheez-Its. Now, this is not original box. If you haven't seen my video about this type of packaging, this is from Sarge Vining, from B.S.A Outfitters. So if you would like a great selection of historic packaging, you can't go wrong with this. I don't know if this particular packaging sits well with the early 1930s with what I've got going on right now, but it certainly sits better than a big orange box that's from the store today. For the spices, I got salt and I've got pepper. That's all I need for what we're doing. And I got my utensils. So let's go ahead and put some of this stuff away that we're not going to need for the time being, just so it's out of the way. Now, one of my favorite lunches to make, especially during warm weather, is just a fried egg sandwich. And I don't know how common that is around the United States, but it's fairly common here in Ohio. Another really nice picnic meal would be egg salad sandwiches. But that requires a lot more work than just a fried egg sandwich. So that's what we're doing. So, I'm gonna take my original knife here, crack this egg. Oh, I forgot. Getting a little ahead of myself. We need to fry up some butter. Otherwise, those eggs are going to burn. All right. Now, this is an aluminum pan. The originals were all aluminum. The reproduction is not going to be aluminum, It's going to be a high-grade stainless steel that is specifically for high temperatures. So if you are cooking over a campfire, you're cooking over a burner like this, then you're not going to have to worry about it acting all weird or do anything wonky. And again, all those details are in the description box below. So we're coating our pan, making sure nothing sticks. It's kind of windy, so we're going to pump it a little bit. This little camp stove is working so much better than my 100, and it's smaller, so this is actually a much better backpacking option. Okay, so the butter is clarified now. It's not sizzling, not bubbling. A couple extra pumps gets it going. All right, should be ready. Add just a little bit of pepper. Now we're frying. Now, unlike my other videos where you see me flip pancakes, we're not going to flip that, have that butter flinging out everywhere. Look at that. Oh, some nice color, right? Not burning at all. This is going to be a great egg sandwich. All right, I think that's done. There's one. I've heard so many people tell horror stories of their scouting cooking experiences cooking on aluminum. And I know like there's some health concerns today about cooking on aluminum, so I'm not begrudging anybody about that. People are talking about like how easy it is to burn on aluminum, which it kind of is, or how stuff sticks. Now this is eggs and butter. And I can say that I've never really had problems with food sticking to my aluminum. First of all, I kept an eye on it, but also just using proper cooking techniques, making sure stuff is oiled or greased or has a little bit of butter on there to keep it from sticking. See, as you can see, like, didn't add any butter since the last one. This thing's still moving around. All right. So now that everything's done, just release the pressure on the pip. And just like that, it's off. We'll go ahead and let it cool. Lose all that pressure. Look at that. Look at that beautiful egg. Right there. It's perfect. So, we have our sandwich. See how it does. So good. A little mayonnaise, a little brown mustard. Now it's time for a little bit of lemonade. So this little cup, the pressing cook it comes with, really nice. Handle fits right inside there. Use this to cook some soup or stew or your coffee. Now, the nice thing about these reproduction boxes, this is a Ziploc bag. Obviously it's not modern, but nonetheless, you know, it certainly looks legit, like it has the cellophane over it just by using that little baggie. So you can reuse this box over and over and over and over again. And it's not some cheap, like really thin, paperish like cardboard. This is like legit stuff. Sarge did a great job on his reproductions of these. That's a pretty good springtime picnic. Beautiful weather here in Ohio. Sometimes we overthink. Like we have to drag out the entire kitchen sink. We have to take everything. But in reality, simplification of things, and I caught myself doing that while I was actually preparing for making this video, because I was looking for all these different containers, trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do for the butter? What am I going to do for the lemonade? Am I going to make the lemonade there so you guys see me making lemonade? At this point, I'm sure most of you know how to make lemonade, right? So it's like, no, man, like just throw it in a ball jar. This one's not ball, this is a kern jar. But throw it in a ball jar, put a lid on it, you got yourself your container. And I almost forgot that I even had this, which in my mind, I'm thinking it's like a meat can, right? But it's like, no, man, you can throw your eggs and your butter in there and it's the perfect size, right? So it's even just practicing simplification, you know? Sometimes we get so caught up in what our mind tells us things should look like and how it probably did look like. I remember when I was a kid, my parents, like they didn't buy super special specific containers. You know, we had Cool Whip bowls, we had butter bowls and things like that that we would shove food in. And that's what we took for our picnics as well. Simplification is the best thing anybody can do to whatever they do, whether it be regular life, whether it be camping or picnicking or what have you. We get caught up in our own heads. And when I was trying to come up with a container for like the Miracle Whip or Cool Whip or not Miracle Whip, sorry, the mayonnaise and the mustard, because all I have are like modern things. Like, you know what? What if I just put it on the bread? Because if I'm just going for a picnic, it's not storing overnight or anything. The bread's not going to stale out or anything. So there we go. So pre-making or pre-preparing the bread ahead of time and just cooking it out here to show you guys how this works and stuff, but also have a nice hot egg sandwich instead of a cold egg sandwich. There you go. That's all you got to do. So anyhow, I hope your spring is off to a solid start. And I apologize for not making videos for the past couple weeks, but like I said, life's a little hectic right now for me, so I am probably going to have to slow down. I'll make them as much as I can. But if you haven't checked out the Camp Crafters Guild yet, I'm staying active on the Camp Crafters Guild. In fact, I'm trying to be more active on the Camp Crafters Guild to kind of make up for this. It's a lot easier to get on there and talk to people and share things with people than it is to come out and make a full production video. I know what you're thinking. Dude, this is your backyard. Yeah, this is my backyard. So it takes a lot of time to do YouTube videos. But if you haven't checked out the Camp Crafters Guild, starting next month, if you join, okay, follow the link at www.honorableoutfitters.com/join the guild. There is going to be a free option for the Camp Crafters Guild. You're not going to have access to all the different parts of the guild, but very much you can at least get on there and join us in conversations and see some things that we talk about. And then if you like it, and maybe you're just happy with the social aspect of it, but if you like it and you want more that the guild has to offer, then you can join with the paid option, which is $15 per month. So it's not like it's $25, $50 or something crazy. It's $15 per month, and that goes to just support the guild, right? Because it's a platform that has to be paid for. I take a big chunk of my YouTube money here to support that, and if we get enough people on there, then we can add other things, maybe have paid speakers and things like that come on to teach us some really cool stuff. But anyhow, if you join in the next month and in the future, at least for the foreseeable future, might change, you never know, but at least for right now, it's free. There's a free option. Go to www.honorableoutfitters.com/join the guild. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me here on YouTube or somewhere else, but I'm around. If you would like to see the video about the Preston Cook Kit, then check it out here. If you would like to see the videos on my cooking stuff, then check it out here. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I hope you guys are enjoying your month. I really hope to see you guys on the guild, and I look forward to chatting with you all around our campfire. Take care. God bless. Give a kiss and hug to your loved ones. Bye.